So if you're interested in breath work, and I really think that we all should be, because learning how to use your breath, it can be literally life-changing, have so many different effects on your health and well-being. The place that I would recommend that you start is just by noticing where you are with your breath right now, because when you notice how your breath is right now, you're noticing your nervous system state. So if you're finding that you're breathing fast a lot, that you're kind of racing around, that you're maybe finding you're taking lots of big, deep, sharp breaths, or maybe you're more in your sympathetic kind of fight, flight, get stuff done mode. And if you're finding your breath is kind of calmer, slower, maybe you're feeling a bit sleepy, a bit drowsy, a bit low energy, maybe you're doing a lot of deep sighs, then maybe you're spending more time in your parasympathetic nervous system. So I'm going to give you 3 different tests to try, and these can be all used as a baseline measure as you get more into your breath work and start playing around with different practices to see if there's any progress that comes with those practices. So the first one, really simple, is your nasal cycle. So thinking about your nostrils. So during the day, you have these things called nasal cycles, when one nostril will be more dominant than the other, meaning one will feel clearer than the other. So there's theory behind this, and that theory is that when your right nostril is more clear, then maybe you're more into that sympathetic, get stuff done, race around, action mode. Maybe you're feeling hungry, so historically would have had to go out and catch food to get ready to go to chase things down. So that would be that mode. And then in your left nostrils, maybe when that side is more dominant, you would be feeling kind of calmer, maybe a little sleepy, ready to rest. And we really need both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. So what you want to do is to be finding that you switch that nasal dominance during the day as you need to move through the get stuff done mode to the relaxed mode. You want to be able to move easily through those 2 different zones. So about every 60 to 120 minutes during the day, you should find that that dominance is switching. So all you do is to look at this, is just take your finger underneath your nose and take a sharp out. And try and get an idea if one side is stronger than the other. So some people find using a mirror for this test more useful, because you can see maybe where more of that condensation is coming on the mirror from one side of your nostril or the other. Just get an idea which side of your nostril you're in at the moment, what that might mean for you. And maybe do that 2 or 3 times a day as you work through your day, just to notice if you are switching through your nasal cycles, or if you're tending to spend more time in your right side or your left side. Again, it's just a matter of noticing and seeing if things change as you progress in your breathwork practice. So the second test is a breath hold test, or you might hear it called a bolt test. So all we're going to do is take 3 normal breaths, and I'll talk you through it first, because otherwise you'll find yourself holding your breath for longer than I want you to. So you're going to take 3 normal breaths, so not think about really expanding or taking big deep breaths to move your rib cage or anything like that, just your normal breathing pattern. And at the end of your 3rd exhale, we're just going to pause there, so hold that breath, and we're going to hold it for as long as it takes to feel like you really want to take a breath. So those signs of breath hunger creeping in, but you can resume your breath with your normal breathing pattern. So you're not feeling like you need to take a big gasping breath in, just that you can resume it normally. So if you're holding your breath till your diaphragm starts twitching, or you're doing the then you have gone too far. So you are going to need a stopwatch for this, or the timer on your phone. So just grabbing that momentarily and then coming back to the video, finding a comfortable place to sit, taking those 3 normal breaths. And at the end of your 3rd exhale, just holding the breath there, starting your timer, and away we go. So you're looking for the first signs of breath hunger, feeling like you do really want to take that breath, but you can resume with your normal breathing pattern. And when you resume, turning off the timer, and we're just going to write down that time. So you've got a time there that you can measure against at a later date. Okay, and when you've done that one, the 3rd one is a similar but more of a lung capacity or breath control kind of test. So we're going to take a really big inhale, so really expanding out through your lungs. So try really fill your lungs as much as you can, and again I will talk through and demonstrate this, and then you can do it afterwards. And when you get to the top of the breath, you're going to start counting down, or just counting. Let's make it easy. With your quietest possible voice. So not a whisper, but more of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So continuing like that until you feel like you've really run out of breath. So you'll notice there's a slow release as you speak down those numbers. So whenever you're ready, taking that big deep inhale, really expanding, filling every bit of your lungs that you possibly can, and starting that count. 1, 2, 3, quietest voice but not a whisper, continuing with this. And when you get down to the last number you can get in on that breath, you're just going to resume your normal breathing pattern, and you're going to write down that number. So you can see that all of these tests have an element of subjectivity. They're all just for you. They're not about comparison with other people. They're just your measures for yourself to use as you get into breath practice and working with different kinds of breath. You will find that all of them will be different if you do them at different times of day. But I would recommend, again, that you do the nasal cycle one 2 or 3 times a day, just noticing where you are in your nasal cycle. And save the other 2 to do maybe like once a month, just to see if anything has changed as you get more into your practice.